Well, the next point then is, I guess for privacy and for courtesy, we can't mention names specifically, but I guess at some moment the organisation went from not approaching this to deciding it wanted to do this. So how can you describe the protagonists that got this started, and why did they move to do this, and how did you get the backing that was needed to make a change like this? It's not trivial to pick up and get this sort of thing moving, is it?
Because this was a necessity, David. Because without this type of overall governance, you can't reach anywhere. Because you are moving from a one unit to a multiple unit organization in no time. And how do you manage that? So in order to manage those type of exponential growth, you need some exponential way of doing things, some exceptional way of doing things. That exceptional way at that time, it was really an exceptional way of doing things because people are not even know what's a PMO. A PMO was not in existence at that time, or it was in a very juvenile stage. So when we come up with an idea from all this started from the IT side of things. So when we started coming up with this idea of PMO and bring people like Chris and Brad to make this happen, there was a lot of objection, not many objection from outside, but they were thinking of, why can't we do it in the traditional way of doing this? Uh, that traditional way will not work because there is nothing called a traditional exponential growth. That exponential growth, in order to manage those exponential growth, you need an exceptional way of doing things. And from the um, CIO side, the sponsorship was very strong. And from the CIO side, then go to the group strategy side. Also, the sponsorship was very high. So there was not much objection in putting things forward. Only there was objection in the way that we do things. Should we do it in the traditional way or should we do it in the way that we propose? So, but eventually it comes into this PMO way of doing things, and there was a group PMO formed and strategy PMO formed. Each, of course, have their own PMOs, and this information started pouring in to the central location where there were different, senior managers were able to, or X-level people are able to see the results coming through, and then it took off.
Do you have anything to add, Chris? That's sounds like what we've discussed previously, but anything to add?
Yeah, and I think it's just, what Sharif was saying is that the tool that they needed to get this all going better was integrated governance, was having this integrated view that would support decision making for multiple units working together, as opposed to multiple single units working on their own.
Sharif, I think Sharif's dropped off.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just coming back in again. I'll just add him in.
Yeah, okay.
Hi, Sharif.
Yeah, what happened?
Don't know. These things happen. We've got. I can edit that. That's all cool. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
And it's adds a nice thing to the mix. I'll drop out soon anyway. So, but yeah. So we got it. This is definitely a leadership led, understood the challenge, had to get on in control, drive strategy, understand what's happening, and it was exceptional circumstances. So you got on it, which is great. So what did we get on? This is the thing. So so there's quite a bit of wording on this slide. So people can pause the presentation if they want to. Maybe we've covered some of this stuff, but I think you guys have mentioned it. The CO problem, rapid acquisition, needed to grow the organization quickly, needed to do that efficiently, and just to make sure the strategic process got on and delivered the outcomes. And it didn't think, you guys didn't think that traditional methods would perhaps, or existing methods would perhaps achieve that. So please interrupt me at any moment if you want to add something. I'll just summarize here. I think the initiative came from Group IT primarily, which was Sharif. You saw the need for this stuff, and I think you were one of the major protagonists to move this idea forward. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. Me and the CAO actually.
There's a group to run the strategic program. I think that either existed or was formed, but that again, insight to make this happen.
Yeah.
So, what can you guys say about how you got together the business case and how you did that initial engagement to justify this and allow it to happen? Was there much to say, or did you have any problems? How was this initial kickstarting and generating the money and the will for this? How did you get on top of that?
Yeah. See, basically, what happened was when such a requirement came in, I was appointed as the PMO manager in one of the OpCos, as a part of the group. And we started looking into options. I mean, what are the solutions that we need to look into? And we have gone through several presentations by different vendors, and then came Chris and Brad with a fairly unknown methodology and fairly unknown software. So we looked into it and we found out that okay, even though they are fairly unknown in the market, but they have the capabilities that we are looking for. So that was the time when we make a decision, saying that okay, we'll go ahead with this. So this was a decision from the IT side alone at that time. But once we decided on the software as well as the methodology, then we started training. We started propagating this into different opcos and the strategy PMO, and they got interested in the things that we are doing, and eventually they also want this to be implemented across all the opcos and as well as in the strategy team. So that's how it started kicking off as an organizational wide program where we actually we trained maybe more than 50 project managers in one of the seminars that we've done, myself, Chris, and Brad, done in Dubai at that time. So we bring together all the people from different operational units and did the things. So people, when they understand the value of the things that they are going to get into it, they started buying in, and the management supported, and the money was not an issue at all.
So with vision and with a pressing problem and the vision of a solution that you provided, it became quite straightforward to demonstrate you could provide and actually operate a solution people could buy into themselves. I think that's what I heard. Anything to add, Chris?
Yeah, I think that's right. And for us, and I think a key issue was, and it was a challenge in a way, but I think it was actually probably the right approach, was that various countries had to opt to come in and buy into it rather than being forced into it. And I think that meant that the approach was right in the first place in order to foster that positive working together and commitment to the solution. And I think that made a difference. And just bringing people in that weren't being forced in meant that they came perhaps with a more open mind and less resistance. And that made it easier in the end although it had its own bumps in the road, I think, but I think it was worth it, because in the end it resulted in a better solution.
So leadership vision, leadership steer, providing a facility, but then your opcos bought into it and collaborated with free will. I think that's pretty impressive. Well, anything else to add, guys, or shall I move on? I shall move on.